In today's video, we're going to talk about what a HELOC is, how to use it, how not to, and how to calculate what yours could be for your house.
So HELOC is actually an acronym. Let's spell it out here. It stands for Home Equity Line of Credit. Home Equity Line of Credit. And this is actually a huge way that Brent and I were able to really scale our real estate empire. So Brent, will you talk about kind of why a HELOC is so clutch when it comes to getting some creative financing and how it's like different from maybe like a credit card or something like that?
It's a great question. So a HELOC is essentially the thing that's the same between a credit card and a HELOC is the part right here. That's a line of credit. So the thing that's different between a HELOC versus a credit card, for example, would be that a HELOC is a secured line of credit where a credit card would be a non-secured. So you're signing a piece of paper that says that you can borrow the money, and then you have income/credit score to define that. Now, income and credit score still factor in acquiring a HELOC for your primary residence, but this is a really unique way to gain access to the equity in your home with a lot of freedom of how to use it.
So a HELOC, like I said, is basically what we did when we owned our first property. We were able to get quite a bit of equity by what we did, adding square footage in, also increasing the quality of the kitchen and the bathroom, things like that, and generally the neighborhood just appraised higher in value, and so our home went up in value. And we were able to then get a HELOC and start to use that money to cash flow, putting money into deposits into homes and into construction and things like that. So let's talk specifically about what it kind of breaks down and how they could maybe think about this for themselves.
Let's calculate what a HELOC is. So we're going to start with a terrible picture of a house. So here's your house. It's got a little window. And then you got a door over here. There we go, a little door. All right, so this is your home that you originally purchased, let's say, for $200,000. Now, over time, rehabbing it, appreciation in the market, changes in the neighborhood, whatever, your value of your home is now increased. Let's just say that the new value of your home today is $350,000. This is $200,000. This is the total value of the home. It's $350,000. This is the total value of the asset. Now you currently have a loan against this. So let's just pretend like right around here that you have this line, and this section down here is currently borrowed against by your first mortgage when you purchased the property. There's this space up here that is value in the asset that doesn't have any money lent against it. So what a HELOC is trying to capture as much of this space in your home as possible. So what you would do when you're calculating HELOC is the HELOCs are driven on what's called a loan to value. This is an important term, and sometimes, depending on the market and the industry, this can range from anywhere to 80, and before COVID was up to 100%. This can be a big range of the total loan to value that the bank is comfortable with you having. So for a HELOC, for example, let's just use 80% as an example, or let's say 90. 90 would be a fun one. That'd be a great HELOC to get if you could find it. So if we're going to shoot for 90% HELOC on this home, what that's going to be is that what that lender is saying is they'll allow you to have, of this total asset, you can have 90% of it lent out. 90% of the equity can be mortgaged against. Now, in this equation, that would mean that the total loan amount that the bank is comfortable with would be $315,000.
So Brett, you got this number, $315,000. That is 90% of this, correct?
Which is the appraised value, the current value of the home.
Right. So your lender is going to be willing to give you 90% of the current value of your home, which is $350,000.
In the form of a line of credit. But the problem is you can't just pretend that this loan doesn't exist when you originally bought the house. So the important calculation then to take place is that they're going to allow you to borrow up to this much, is what they're saying. So this is the HELOC part that you're going to go for.
This right here is 90%, is what you're saying, right?
That's correct.
Cool.
That's correct. So then this would be the leftover, which you could grab a hold of. So your mortgage was that when you bought the house was $200,000, and that leaves you with $115,000 in potential money to borrow. This is the potential HELOC amount. So then you don't have to borrow all of that, but the bank is telling you if your home is valued now at this, and you already have a mortgage for this amount on it, then the difference that you can grab right here is $115,000.
Right, so it's
This
like
is the value.
this portion of the home right here. That's what you're getting access to in cash.
Totally.
And the great thing about a HELOC is because it's secured by an asset like a home, you can have a much lower interest rate than some other potentials like credit cards, right? You know, credit cards are running over 20% interest. A HELOC is going to be more like in a range, average around 4%. And so this is the way that you and I really started to scale our real estate, was being able to access this to then deploy it into other places in the market.
And just so you know, just to kind of circle back on some things here, just to recap, there's a range that you can get. This isn't really very common anymore to get up to 100%, but I would just want to clarify that when you're getting a HELOC, there's a couple different factors that go into that rate that Aaron was talking about. One is the amount of loan to value that they're giving you. The higher the loan to value, the higher the interest rate's going to be. And also your credit score comes into a factor. So if you're in the high 6s, you're going to be at a different rate versus if you're in the mid to upper 7s or in the 8s, then there's like categories of loan amounts that you can, or the interest rates that you can get based on those criteria.
Okay, so that is a HELOC. That's how you calculate it and sort of the principles behind it. We highly, highly encourage getting a HELOC so that it can help you grow your wealth in real estate. A HELOC should only be used for something that's going to grow your wealth. So you should really only deploy your HELOC in things like investing in real estate. Don't go buy yourself a super fancy car or a massive shopping spree. We understand that it's a line of credit that has low interest, but it is not financially helpful for you to go on a shopping spree with it. Okay, that's all for now.